open for field and control well as well. So I wouldn't rule the stoppage out at all, but I think I'm a betting man. I always have been a betting man. I think the safe money would be Zeuge points, but I'm very excited to watch this. I'm really looking forward to it.
Darren?
Being the proud Brit I am, I'm going Rocky. You know, he's a top lad. He's had it hard, and I just feel he might do it tonight. You know, I'm not 100% certain, but I just think tonight could be his night.
OK, well, here is Rocky Kostocki, who's heading out to the ring. So let's get straight to it. Can Rocky Fielding bring it home? What a chance. Here's Matt Macklin and Andy Clark. But first, MC Chuka.
Rocky Fielding just stepping through the ropes with Jamie Moore. They've looked nice and relaxed, nice and calm all week. It's been a pretty low-key fight week, to be honest, which may well work in their favour. But he knows that tonight is his opportunity. This is his big chance. Looks slightly tense in there, but that's perfectly OK. As long as when that first bell goes,
and
he's
now,
not too
ladies
tight.
and gentlemen, joining us in the blue corner, the defending champion, Tyron Zeuge.
I saw Tyron Zeuge win this title from Giovanni De Carolis at the second time of asking. The first occasion was a draw that I felt he was somewhat fortunate to get, but he was much improved when they met the second time around. In the last couple of years, you've just seen him develop physically and also in terms of skill. He's grown into his frame, and with Jürgen Bremer as his trainer, that seems to have brought a new dimension to him as well. Defences against Paul Smith, as we know, a couple against Isaac Ekpo, the second ending pretty briefly earlier this year. And he's a laid-back, confident kind of a character, Matt. People look at him, and of the champions at super middleweight, he is the one that everybody fancies. But he's the kind of fighter who I think when you get in there with him, turns out to be a bit better than you think.
Yeah, he's definitely decent. You know, he's got a good eye, good judge of distance, decent timing. He was a good amateur. You know, he's only 26 years old. He's improved a lot the last couple of years. I saw that fight with De Carolis. The first time was probably lucky to get the draw, and in the second one he performed much better. But as world titles go, particularly in this super middleweight division, which is very strong, they're not going to. This is Rocky's best chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, this fight is brought to you by Team Sarlin in association with Sport 1, sanctioned by the WBA. The supervisor will be Carlos Chavez from Venezuela. The three judges for this fight on ringside will be Gustavo Harquin from Nicaragua, Irki Mironen from Finland, and Jean-François Dupont from France. And when the bell rings, our third man in the ring in charge of the actions will be the referee Helen from USA. Please welcome Russell Mora. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it, the main event of the evening. Fight fans, are you ready? Introducing to first the fighter on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gray trunks. Yesterday, he tipped the scales at 76.1 kilograms. His record stands at 26 wins and 1 defeat, including 14 KO victories. He's the reigning British and Commonwealth champion, fighting out of Warrington, United Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the challenger, Rocky Fielding. And introducing his opponent on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red and yellow trim. His official weight, 75.9 kilograms. He enters the ring with 22 wins, no defeats, and 1 draw, including 12 big wins coming by way of knockout. He comes to us from Berlin, Germany. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the reigning and defending WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Tyron Zeuge. Okay, gentlemen, we went over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. God bless you both. Trunks here are good. Trunks here are good. God bless you both. Touch it.
Final instructions from Russell Moore, the referee, and it is sweltering inside the Barden Arena. The mercury touching 34 degrees today, and it's got that kind of greenhouse effect to it under the lights as well. So maybe that could play a part as we head down the stretch, if indeed we do. You get the feeling, Matt, and Darren spoke about it just before they came over to us. The Fielding has got to try and make an imprint on this fight early. That doesn't necessarily mean that he needs to be reckless, but he can be dangerous early on. He's got to try and take some kind of initiative here.
Yeah, I think so, you know. He's got to come out, be positive. Rocky can punch, you know. Zoiga, as world champions go, particularly in this super middleweight division, which is particularly strong at the minute, you'd have to say he's probably the weakest of all the champions, so this is a great opportunity for Rocky, and I think he needs to go out there, not be reckless, doesn't have to do anything he doesn't do, you know, be himself, of course, but start positively, get his nose in front, and don't let Zoiga get into his groove.
Arrived midweek, Rocky Fielding and Jamie Moore, been joined by Martin Murray and Nigel Travis, who's made an epic journey from Zimbabwe, where he was last night, in the corner for Mark Leach. He's managed to make it, and it's been low-key, as we said during the ring walks. One thing that people were wondering was whether Fielding would be able to cope with the scrutiny, with the glare and spotlight of fight week in a world title fight, and it's just not been typical in that regard. Press conference was held at the local winery at the weigh-in yesterday. Most of the fans who turned up, in fact pretty much all of them, were Fielding fans, so that may have just taken the pressure off him a little bit.
Yeah, well, you know, I think this fight is coming at a great time for Rocky in his career. You know, he's 30 years old. He didn't have an extensive amateur career like some fighters, and he's, you know, but he's really bounced back well. He had that loss against Callum Smith. He was undefeated up till then, and he was on a bit of a crest of a wave. You know, that he would have took that bat. It was a first-round knockout, but he's really rebuilt well since then. He had a great performance over John Ryder. He had a tough fight with Rabras, but it was a good win, and then he banged out David Brophy in a round which would have really shot his confidence up. He's really settled into training well with Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis, so I think it's come at a really good time for Rocky Fielding.
And Zoiga just trying to pile in with the right hand there. Before that, there was a decent combination from Fielding at that kind of mid-three-quarter range, which is where he is dangerous, because he's got those long levers. Physically, he is quite significantly the bigger of the two. Left hand there from Fielding. Zoiga was trying to come forward, just shut down his own space slightly with the right hand.
Yeah, I mean, physically wise, you know, you'd have to say that the advantages are with Rocky Fielding. I think he's certainly the bigger puncher of the two. Experience-wise, Zoiga, you know, was a top amateur, real good amateur pedigree there from him. You know, he's a world champion. But, you know, Rocky has been in with Callum Smith, albeit didn't go well for him, it was over and around, but he's bounced back well, and I think his confidence is good.
Into the final 10 seconds of the round, Fielding just looking to try and feint with his front foot there. And it's been pretty even stuff in this opener. Zoiga may be the man more on the front foot. Back at ringside at the Barden Arena. That's Jürgen Bremer with his back to us. Former WBA regular, light heavyweight champion who surprisingly went into the World Boxing Super Series at super middleweight last year rather than Tyrone Zoiga. I don't think Zoiga was particularly enamoured with that at the time, and there are rumours that the relationship between himself and Sauerland are not at an all-time high. He is Germany's only world champion at the moment. Fielding looking to try and jab and get on the front foot and jab. As Zoiga came forward, he just managed to pick a couple of cleanest shots there as he was coming onto him, Fielding. Zoiga was the busier in that first round. Not a great deal landed from either one of them, but I think that was enough in our eyes to give him the round. Yeah,
he was initiating more attacks, probably landed a few more cleaner punches. But Rocky's boxing well here, you know, he's got his jab going, landed a few straight rights as well. Zoiga recklessly lunging forward there a few moments ago, which seems to suggest that he's already kind of ruffled his feathers a little bit. Well, you know, maybe he's just struggling with the height and the range of Rocky.
Fielding was just looking for the jab. It's just pecking out, not quite reaching at the moment. The two of them just having a good look at each other here, seeing if they can find an opening, looking for something, anything to try and exploit.
Yeah, I expect Zoiga to be fairly cagey. He'll know that Rocky can punch a little bit.
Just slightly short with the right hand there, Zoiga, as he wandered across the ring a touch in pursuit of Fielding.
Yeah, good head movement there, good upper body movement from Zoiga. Nice right hand over the top, but Rocky took it well.
Zoiga landing that one just as Fielding had looked to throw a left hand himself.
Lots of thinking going on in there. Zoiga, head movement, pulling in out of range with his head movement, trying to goad Rocky into leading off, and then he's looking to counter Rocky.
It's interesting when you get that kind of face-off in centre ring. It's important, as you say, thinking. That's the key word. If you're thinking and looking and trying to anticipate something, that's fine. If you're just waiting, then it's not.
Good body shot there from Zoiga. Just a bit sharper to the punch than Fielding in this round so far.
Hands free, hands free.
Decent looking combination from Fielding. The right hand, chopping down right hand, didn't quite land. It's the final 10 seconds of round two. Fielding just looking to try and move away to his left-hand side and just jab as he goes, but it's pretty tight, this fight so far. Nice combination there from Fielding to end the round. The conclusion of that second round, the referee just getting between the two and breaking them up. Frank Smith of Matchroom just to the right-hand side of your screen there, here in support of Rocky Fielding. He's looking to try and get this job done against Tauren Zoiga, who was mentioned as Germany's only world boxing champion at the moment. This is his fourth defence of the title, the WBA regular title. George Groves, the super champion, of course. Zoiga trying to keep that head on the move. They've been tight rounds, those first two so far, but it's Zoiga who's just been the more aggressive, the more proactive, and when there's not a great deal to separate a pair of boxers in terms of clean punches, then that's really where you need to go.
Yeah, nothing in the rounds, very close. I thought Zoiga just probably nicked the two of them, but, you know, they were close rounds.
Watch your head.
The aggression of Zoiga probably swaying them his way. Good body shot going in there, but Rocky answers him back.
Well, it's when Zoiga comes onto him there that Fielding does look dangerous, and that's often been the case when he took care of David Brophy, is because Brophy had a little bit of success early on and came onto him, and that's what proved to be his undoing. Similar kind of finish against Luke Blackledge, as Blackledge was advancing on Fielding. He took that step away and landed the left hand. But that was a good jab there from Zoiga.
Stop!
Short right hand from Fielding, I think, was a good shot there.
Yep, that landed. Good defense here from Rocky, hands nice and high. Zoiga struggling to penetrate his defenses. Good jab from Fielding.
Zoiga just trying to muscle his way into range there. I think the heads may have cracked together on the inside. Zoiga seemed to certainly grimace slightly. No damage to either of them as far as I can see. He's a little bit jerkier in his technique, Zoiga, tonight than when I've seen him previously. He's been a touch smoother than this, but that could be deliberate, of course.
Yeah, landed a nice right hand there. I think maybe he's struggling with the height of Fielding. You know, he's lunged a couple of times where normally, you know, a well-schooled fighter that he is, he'd normally navigate his way in a little bit more gracefully, but a couple of times he's come thundering in.
Let him go, let him go.
Fielding just forcing Zoiga to give a bit of ground here for the first time, really. Some encouraging signs in this third round.
Yeah, better round from Fielding.
Hands free,
looking for that jab fielding, a couple of jabs
hands
in
free.
quick succession. Referee just trying to get in and stop them holding. Final 10 seconds of round 3, and Zeuge just dips and comes forward. And caught a couple from fielding there. That's a Tyrone Zeuge corner. Those two, he and Jürgen Brähmer, have been together for a while. Previously, they were both trained by Carsten Rohr. And Zeuge decided that he wanted to go with Brähmer, whilst Brähmer was still being trained by Rohr. So that was a bold decision to make by a young fighter as he was at that point. He's not afraid to go his own way, Tyrone Zeuge. He's that kind of a character. Interesting watching these first 3 rounds, Matt. As I said, I've seen him a few times, Zeuge, and he's been a bit more gung-ho in his approach tonight than previously. And fielding just answering back with a good combination there as Zeuge had tried to get onto the front foot at the start of the round again. Into the southpaw stance now, the German.
Yeah, it's been a close affair so far. All 3 rounds very close, tip for tap, but good right hook to the body going in there from Rocky. Yeah, I think Zeuge's probably been a bit more aggressive than I've seen him in the past.
And a good finish against Isaac Ekpo. Caught him high on the head right towards the end of the first round, and then finished him at the start of the second round with another right hand. That was a rematch that he had to take. It was a technical decision he won by the first time they met, and the WBA allowed the fight with Paul Smith, and Ekpo it was who had patiently waited for the second opportunity. That's a good work there from Zeuge.
Yep, good hand speed from Zeuge. Rocky coming back with his own shots.
Hands free.
I'd see Fielding get on his jab a little bit more, neglecting the jab here at times. These good body shots going in from Fielding though.
Zeuge square on as he's trying to come in there.
Yep, short left hook there from Fielding.
That's a decent combination from the Liverpool man as well. Into the final minute of round 4. Zeuge just trying to bomb with the right hand, but then that's a tuck up as Fielding answers him back, and that's a good bit of work there from Rocky Fielding.
Yep, good work from Rocky off the ropes there.
Zeuge just looking to cover up at the moment. Mouth just hanging open. I think he's maybe feeling this a touch.
Yeah, I think he's felt the power of Fielding.
And he half turned his back on Fielding there, and Zeuge bangs it right into the body, but I think he's in a bit of trouble here, the champion. And Fielding here just trying to pour it on. Forces him back towards the corner, and this is promising stuff from Rocky Fielding.
Yeah, he's hurt him. He's definitely shook him there. Andy unloading now, Fielding. If he can just get some room here.
He needs to push his man off and get his arms free and go to work again here, Fielding. Maybe just nicking a slight rest himself there, but that was a good passage within the round for Fielding. He was dominating, and I think he did some damage. And Zeuge just trying to spring in and keep him off with a couple of shots of his own there. But this possibly a pivotal round for Fielding. And some concerned onlookers there at ringside. And Zeuge having the gum shield pulled out. And just gulping the air in between rounds. It's very, very hot inside the Bardon Arena. A slight bit of swelling maybe coming up underneath that left eye. Yeah. And a shake of the head there from Zeuge.
I didn't see the shot that did the damage, but he definitely seemed to buzz Zeuge.
Let's have a look at your scorecard, Matt, and you've got it level.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first 2 rounds were very close, but I thought the last 2, Rocky's really come on. Zeuge turning away there, and Rocky landing a shot. I didn't see the shot which did the damage, but he definitely buzzed him because he almost turned away there as well at one point. Zeuge didn't like the pressure coming from Rocky Fielding.
Well, he's gone deep into fights on many occasions, Tyrone Zeuge. 159 rounds in his 23 fights. Won the distance with De Carolis in that first effort at the world title, deep into the fight against him the second time. Did the distance with Paul Smith, but I just wonder, it's early in the fight, but I just wonder how training may have gone for him, because as I said, he did start out more aggressively than I've seen him before. And he was in a bit of bother at the end of that fourth round as he sat down on the stool. He was really sucking the air in.
Yeah, real positive signs here for Rocky Fielding. Landing a nice left uppercut there. But back comes Zoiga.
Zoiga with the right hand there. And Fielding backed him up to the ropes. Fielding just digging at short range, finding just enough room to get those long levers free. A bit of tape trailing from the wrist there of Zoiga, and we'll get that trimmed off.
This one too. This one.
Both gloves, in fact.
Let's go.
So a minute in to the fifth round. Fielding's brought a fairly healthy contingent from Liverpool to support him. They've been here most of the week. Zoiga standing in front of him, fires off a volley of punches. Good left hand on the inside there from Fielding.
Yep, good left hook there, short left hook.
And again, he just looks to push Zoiga back onto the ropes. The German square to the ropes. And Zoiga throws a big right hand, but you get the feeling that he's having to work really hard to keep him off at the minute, Zoiga.
Yeah, and every time Rocky Fielding lands clean, it looks like he's hurting Zoiga.
And just pushing him back into the red corner there. Putting the shoulder on Zoiga, bringing that greater physical presence to bear. Fielding not getting carried away here. He knows he's had success, and Zoiga again just tucking up here.
Good left uppercut from Fielding.
And just finding that range there, Fielding, where he can let those hands go free. And Zoiga again, there's just absolutely nothing coming back from him at the moment.
No, and he's looking to cling. He's pulling Rocky into him. He's holding on for very tightly there. I know I'd rather be Fielding's corner. Out of the two corners, I'd rather be Rocky Fielding's trainer than Zoiga's.
Fielding just getting to work a little bit. 30 seconds ago, big left hand, the uppercut straight up the middle. And Zoiga just rocked back onto his heels. And he sags into the ropes, and he looks, to be honest, like a spent force. Down goes Zoiga. Left hand from Rocky Fielding. And the towel is in the hand there of Jürgen Brähmer.
It's over.
And in comes the
world
towel.
champion.
And Rocky Fielding has done it. He's gone to Germany, and he has done it. WBA regular champion. He put the heat on Tyrone Zoiga in that fifth round, and the German just could not withstand it. There were signs in the previous round that he was ready to go, and Fielding just finished the job. Zoiga, after an aggressive first couple of rounds, faded badly, and Fielding ruthlessly exploited it. I'll be honest, a strange kind of a performance that from Tyrone Zoiga. I just wonder what has happened in the build-up to this fight, because I've not seen him perform like that before. But let's not take anything away from Rocky Fielding. He's gone away from home, and he's done the business, and he deserves all the credit in the world for that.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Andy. I just think, you know, he started positively. He was quite aggressive, more aggressive than I've seen him in the past. He had good hand speed, but I think as soon as he felt Fielding's power, he went into his shell a little bit, and he tried to fight back, but Rocky stayed on top of him, landing nice uppercuts, short left hooks. Even though he was a tall guy, he was doing most damage at close range on the inside. And I just think that the power, every time he was landing, he was shaking Zoiga. He hurt him, and it was a good body shot, actually, that finished him off.
Well, Fielding was nice and patient. He knew that he had his man in his sights. He had him in the crosshairs. He didn't get carried away, and he got the job done. And increasingly, Zoiga was looking more and more distressed, and it was no surprise to see the towel in the hand there of Jürgen Brähmer, who seemed to be saying to Fielding when they're in centering a few moments ago that he would fancy getting in with Fielding himself. He has dropped down to super middleweight in the last year or so, but here's the finale. Left uppercut, clubbing left uppercut. There was one before that started it all off, and then the left to the body.
Well, he had him well under the cosh. He was already very much on the retreat. He'd hurt him to the head. He was looking to fire back there, but he was in trouble. And there was that body shot right behind the elbow, right in the floating rib, completely took the wind away from him. But if we're honest, Andy, he was well beat. I think he'd broken his heart by then. He'd hurt him several times. He was well on top, and it was the body shot was just the icing on the cake, which finished the job.
Well, the sea change was just rapid, wasn't it? Because all of a sudden you're seeing Zoiga backs up to the ropes. He's throwing desperate punches, really, to try and keep his man off him, and then retreating to the ropes again and just tucking up, and there wasn't enough coming back, and desolation, really, amongst the Zoiga supporters. It's his 4th defence, but he's now a former world champion. Rocky Fielding vacated that British title because he wanted a shot. It looked like he might be in an IBF eliminator. The WBO looked to be a possibility. Then this fight got made. He was frustrated at not being in the World Boxing Super Series. Fielding. He's worked hard for this. He got over that setback against Callum Smith, and he deserves his success because he's an immensely likeable character too.
And a brilliant performance, and you just mentioned it, how he's come back since the loss against Callum Smith. It must have been shattering at the time. It was an all Liverpool affair, and you know, knocked out in the first round or stopped in the first round, but he came back really well, you know, and it actually looks better in hindsight, you know, the win on John Ryder and what he went on to do against Jamie Cox. But it was, you know, he's really rebuilt. This has come at a perfect time for him. Zoiga, you know, as world champions go in the super middleweight division, he was probably the weakest one, but what a performance from Rocky Fielding. Started so well. Well, Zoiga came out quick, but he kept his composure. Fielding stayed nice and tight. Actually did probably most of his damage at short range, even though he's such a tall guy and he had the edging range. It was the short uppercuts and quick catch counter left hooks on the inside and little uppercuts which was doing the damage. And every time he landed on Zoiga, you could see that it was troubling him, and he was struggling to come to grips with the power of Rocky Fielding. Even though he doesn't look like a big puncher, he's got those long leverages, and he gets a lot of leverage into the shots, and he's heavy-handed, and it was actually a beautiful body shot. Left uppercut, left hook round the side, which was the finishing touch from Rocky Fielding.
Well, the two fighters just getting ready in centre ring. And he just had a slight look about him tonight, Zoiga, as though he felt he might not have it in the tank, and he wanted to try and get things done quicker than usual. But this is the scene in the Barden Arena in Offenburg. And Fielding just turning in. A terrific performance. People question whether he'd be able to deal with big fight night week, but he's done it.
4 minutes and 30 seconds into the round number 5. Your winner by TKO, and the new WBA Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Rocky Fielding.
So Rocky Fielding is crowned a new WBA regular super middleweight champion, and that will feel incredibly sweet. You know what it's like to come to Germany, Matt, and fight in a world title fight, and he's done what everybody wants to do, which is take it out of the judges' hands and just prove beyond all doubt who the better man was in there.
Yeah, without a doubt, and it must feel so sweet, you know, to have that. Like we mentioned earlier against Callum Smith, and to, you know, rebuild and come back, and now he's world champion, and everything happened to a reason. I think he's those if he was to win, he needed those few wins to come back, and he was Zoiga, good fighter, but Rocky never gave him a chance, really. Just stuck it on him, kept it on him. Zoiga was quite aggressive first couple of rounds, but Zoiga, Rocky Fielding, what a performance.
Well, terrific performance from Rocky Fielding, the new world champion.
Congratulations indeed. Well, chaps, I think it's fair to say that is how you win a world title away from home, Darren.
Yeah, it is, and we can celebrate something. You know, it's great. I mean, funny sort of fight. It was like Andy and Matt touched on there. It was a strange sort of start for Tyron Zoiga, a very fast start that we're not used to seeing from him. But
well, Andy said in commentary, gung-ho. I think that's a fair description. Yeah,
Macklin said in the commentary, and Andy said in the commentary, I've never quite seen him like that before. I said in here, off air, as we were listening, after the first round, his mouth was open, he's breathing really heavily, and we said, didn't we, he doesn't normally fight like that. People who fight like that, you can accept, but something strange, but that's all forgotten about. Rocky Fielding's just got the stoppage, which we said he probably needed to get to win over there, and he's done great. He's beat a good champion in Tyron Zoiga, an unbeaten fighter in Tyron Zoiga, and after the loss that he had, he's rebuilt brilliantly. What do you think that's down to with Zoiga? Because like you say, his mouth was open, he was gasping forever very early on. You never know. There could be a number of things. It could just be frustration. You don't know. You know, he's in there with a taller guy, an awkward sort of guy in Rocky Fielding.
I mean, there could be a number of things, but I don't want to take anything away from Rocky and say, you know, there was definitely something wrong with Tyron Zeuge, because who knows? And it doesn't matter. You know, at the end of the day, Rocky Fielding's won. He's done the business. He's gone over there. He's fulfilled a dream. And, you know, I'm over the moon for him. I really am.
Absolutely. Let's go back to the start, because it was a bit of a cagey start, wasn't it, from Rocky? You wanted him to get a bit more busy, throw a few more punches and get involved a little bit more, perhaps down to a few nerves, maybe?
Well, like we're saying this, we could sense there was something wrong with Tyron. He just seemed like his mouth was open. It looked like he was breathing a little bit. So, you know, we were worried that Rocky hadn't noticed that, and we wanted him to just do a little bit more, hold the centre of the ring and just push him back. There was times where, you know, he had Tyron Zeuge probably half a metre away from the ropes, and he just didn't push him back, and I was just a little bit worried. He just wasn't switched on enough. But
Sean, wasn't he? He needed to pull the trigger, get him there and then pull the trigger.
But, you know, here we go now. You know, he started, that was a lovely left hook, and it all started to come together now, and it's just before the body shot, I think, and he was working well. He was confident that Tyron Zeuge couldn't hurt Rocky at this stage. He was really blowing, head was down, he was covering up, and that was a lovely left uppercut there that started it all.
I've said all week in the build-up, the last thing Fielding wants is to have a slowish start and let the walls fall in on. Once the walls close in on, it'll be hard to recover, especially over there. He had a slow start, and then the wall started closing in on Zeuge in round 3 and 4.
Was the shaking his head? Shaking his head in the corner.
I've saw him against De Carolis and against Ekpo, and he starts to feel sorry for himself, Zeuge. And he didn't necessarily feel sorry for himself tonight. He just seemed to, bizarrely fatigue so quick and then, go for it from round 3 and 4. But he walked onto Everton Field, and Everton Field was calm, composed, stayed focused and caught him with some good heavy shots as he come in.
It was
Lovely
a real turning
body.
point, wasn't it, that round 4, because Zeuge knew he was in deep waters and Rocky knew he could really turn it on then.
Yeah, it was just, you know, it's not about just being physically fit in boxing. You've got to be mentally tough, and to see a world champion after the 4th round not being under any trouble really from Rocky Fielding, shaking his head was surprising. You know, you don't tend to see that often, but you know, Rocky did capitalise it and done the job. And it was a lovely.
Odd emotions, wasn't it, at the end from Zeuge?
Yeah, well, I mean,
he seemed happy, didn't he?
He wasn't disappointed. He didn't look gutted. I don't know. Again, I don't want to look at Tyron Zeuge and say, you know, there was something definitely. I don't want to take anything away from Rocky Fielding, but you know, it did seem a bit odd at the end there. And look, who cares? England has another world champion.
Well, we can see how chuffed Rocky was at the end, and quite rightly so. Just how much will this mean to him? Not only winning a world title, but doing it away from home.
I think again, I'm not going back to the loss all the time, because after the loss he had, any belt after that will be like the world title. So he's actually been over to Germany and beat a champion in Tyron Zeuge, so it'll mean the world to him. You know, apart from his kid and the one that he's got on the way being born, it'll be the best night of his life.
All right, OK, thank you very much now, chaps. Right, plenty more reaction and action to come after the break as Rocky Fielding shocks Tyron Zeuge to become WBA champion. And here's what it means to him. What a story.
Now when I was a little boy, I had something in my bucket. Oh no, baby, we can have a lot of fun. I'm a man. I'm #1, baby! Let's go!
It's going to be good, isn't it? What a character White is. His fight with Parker just 2 weeks away. Lots to like about that fight. But tonight, it is all about Rocky Fielding. Andy Scott has caught up with him.
Rocky, start of the week, you said, I think I can come to Germany and knock him out. That's exactly what you've done. You beat a young, hungry world champion in his home country. Sum it up for us. How does it feel?
I can't, you know, it feels amazing. It feels brilliant. The fact that I come here and I come to the champion's backyard and stopping him, and I listened to Jamie. You know, I've been drilling things in. Everything he said was on point, and I broke him down. Jamie said if first 6 and we'll see where he's at. And I think it was an arm that went in. And, oh, was it? Oh, I just stuck to the plan. I just had to. I know he's a great good fighter and I had a lot on it. I had like, you know, this is my chance. What do we do after here if nothing happens? You know what I mean? And this is my dream. And I left on Tuesday. My little boy in the said, you know what I mean? Be back Monday with a belt and got it out of here.
That moment though of realising that it's a world title chance, it can swallow some people up. It can be too much pressure. You seem to embrace that this time, which maybe you didn't do when you fought Callum Smith. Maybe the whole occasion got to you. You seem to just use that experience this time round.
Yeah, that was 3 years ago, 2015. And I said in a few interviews that no one like have known that I had a few problems back outside. My mum was well and that, and she's okay. Everything's distractions are gone, and once I get my mind clear and I get that fear factor and I'm switched on and I listen to my corner, and maybe some fights I don't, and I did today and I had to because this was the big fight, and everything was on here. I started to explain. I mean, I've just done it, didn't I? And I had a lot of ride on it. A lot of people doubted me and a few supported me, and a big thanks to everyone on Twitter. I had a lot of support and a lot of messages, so thank everyone back at home, and I can't thank all the support that's come out today. You know what I mean? 50 odd coming over or something, and my family. It was great. Just great week, and this topped it off, and I'm happy.
Zeuge started very fast, and Jamie just said to us off camera there was a couple of distress flares that you could all notice from about the 3rd round. Did you notice that he was tiring, maybe going for broke, maybe struggling for the pace?
Yeah, I always knew. I watched his fights, and he likes I don't know why, he's a good boxer. He likes to fall in, have he? And he doesn't do when he's up close. He won't work. He'll just tap you and say leave me. Whereas when I seen him tiring and we were up close, Jamie was like 1, 2, bang around the side. And he went firing back, and that's what I hit him with all the time. That's what finished him. And it was about making him miss and then trying to counter the first few. I just missed, but then I started getting in and getting him. And once you said we seen him blowing a bit, I thought, right, it's me time to. I know I'm fit. I've been doing it in the gym, and we pushed on. We done it.
The shot lands. You start celebrating, then you're gone. Everyone was wondering, where's he going?
I was watching and I seen him square and he was getting up, and then I seen Bremer with the towel like that. So as soon as I seen him let go, I was out to support him to my fans, and it's a big thing for me, you know what I mean? I said that to Jay, I started in Salford Sports Centre, my debut, you know what I mean? And no promoter, worked my way up, and I just come to Germany and beat the world champion. Going back to Carry Fine with the belt.
It's a Rocky story. That's a horrible pun from me there. But what about, what's next? What do you want to do next? The world's your oyster now.
I don't know. Well,
someone said there was a rematch clause in there. Would you come back to Germany and do it again if you had to?
I'd like to come to Liverpool. I'd like to defend it in Gecko Arena in my home city. That would be something. That would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Know what I mean? But there's a rematch clause, yeah. But outside on Zeuge will only be taking me out again. But I'll have a rest, get back and take me little lads in there, see what I've missed and picking them up and that. So I'll get to do that for a few weeks. Just sit down with Eddie, Frank, MTK, Jamie, and see what the plan is. I just want to embrace this for a bit now. And
who do you want to dedicate this win to? There's loads of people here, they've all waited around. Who do you want to dedicate it to?
Everyone, these have been here since they were kids with me, and he's at the Stocky gym now with me, you know what I mean? And I like a kid, and when I won prize fight at the Stockbridge gym, when I won that, the week later the gym was buzzing with all the kids, and I hope it's inspired a few more now to get over the gym, and I'll see them all on Tuesday with this.
Brilliant, make sure you pay the excess baggage on that. We'll let you go and enjoy with family. Quick word with your trainer, Jamie Moore. Very proud moment for you. Was that the perfect game plan executed perfectly to the T?
I think you can't deny that it was. I think you carried it out great. We always said the first 2 rounds is real sharp, edgy, explosive in a way. Not a massive puncher, but we can catch it off guard. So I said, just don't fall into them traps, don't make those mistakes, take the edge off him, and then start to gradually break him down. The big thing was the 3rd shot down. He sits in the pocket, but he's not really that effective inside. And he tucks up nice and said, bring his head up and sink that 3rd shot down. And I said, don't rush it because you'll get to him. Just take your time and relax. And he did. Do you know what? I'm over the moon for him. 12 months ago, he's been telling me that, he felt like his career was sort of stalling. He didn't really think that he was going to go anywhere. And then what a turnaround for him in 12 months. You know, the world's his oyster now. I don't really want to talk about what's next for him. I've got to be honest, because moments like this, he's worked a lifetime for, and I'd rather him not think about fighting again just yet. Just sit back, relax, enjoy it. He's got a baby on the way. He wants to take his son to nursery, what he's missed. You know, all those little things, what doing this is all about, you know, setting his family up and making sure that they're secured in the future. He can go in, just relax and enjoy that, and then we'll all sit down in the background, decide what's coming next. He has got a rematch clause, but I don't think he'll take it, and then we'll see what happens. But you know what, I'm over the moon for him. What a nice lad, and it couldn't happen to a better guy.
Brilliant, well said. Thank you for joining us, thank you for talking to us, thank you for having us all week.